Now, today we are going to see how we are going to apply background colors to the box. Okay, what are the different ways to apply the background colors to the box? So I can go for something like before that, I want to discuss the border properties for the box. Okay, yesterday we have seen uh, all the box model properties like how to apply the width, height, border. I'm sorry, I haven't discussed about the border. Of course, I did write. Now let me show what are the different ways of writing the border and all these things. Okay, so I just go for border properties right now. Okay, so let's save this. Okay, so what was that? CSS border box border dot html. CSS box border dot html. And CSS box border dot CSS. Now let me close this one. So just type HTML border props link inside CSS slash CSS border. Right click on it, open in the browser. Now what we can do here as CSS box border.css inside this, what I can do, yeah, if you want to apply the border to a particular element, you can use border property. Border property will come as a shorthand notation and longhand notation as well. So let me go for longhand notation. Longhand notation means you have to apply border width individually. That means you have to apply everything as individual border width. Okay, border style, border color, something like that. Let me go for this. What I want to do, I just want to make a box now. That is a div element. Inside this class is equal to a simple box. I'm going to create, go for it, access the class name box. Okay, inside this, what I want to do, you can just go for, yeah, I'm going to define a width of 100 pixels, height of 100 pixels, width, height. Okay, and let me open this now. You don't find any box now. Let me draw a simple border for this. I'm going to draw border width of 1 pixel. Okay, border style. It can be any kind of a style. There are plenty of styles are there. Now you can see dash, dot, double, grow, all these things. For the time being, I just want to make this to be solid. Okay. Now let us refresh the page. Now you can find a box, a rectangle box. Okay. If I increase the width, you'll get a more thickness of the border. Okay. So what I want to do, I just want to bring this particular element to the center. How do I do that? By using margin left of my total screen width is 1300 pixels, 1366 by 2. Let me do, sorry, but 1366 by 2. We have 683. From that, you need to subtract 50 pixels. It will be 633 pixels. Margin left, margin top. It will be from the top. It's a 780 pixels, 760 pixels by 2. My laptop screen height is 760 pixels by 2. It's 380. From that, you just subtract 50 pixels, almost 330 pixels. 330 pixels. I just add some margin. Almost it will be a center of the page. Okay. Now it will be center of the document. Okay. I think I need to. You need to consider this height as well. This height. I need to move some more height. So let us make this to be 300. That's fine. That's fine. That's good, right? I just created a box. Okay. Let me increase the thickness to 20 pixels. That was nice. Let me add color for this. In order to add the color, you can use border color. What was that? You can find the color can be applied like RGBA. I can go for different colors like 233, 140, something 230. I can go for point one transparency or point transparency. Just refresh the page. Light in color, right? Let me go for thickness. 0.9. It will be more thick. Now this is the border color you can apply. Okay. Now let me zoom it for the time being. Okay, this is not good. Zoom out. That is okay. This is okay. Let me go for another color, 21. This is okay now for the time being. Okay. You can apply the color for the border by using border color like this. All these are longhand notations. Okay, and I want to discuss more about on this border style. Okay, let's go for this. You have plenty of things. Now go for dashed thing. See, here you don't have much difference here. Let me go for pixels, 2 pixels. This is a dashed border. Okay, let me go for dotted border, DOTT, dotted border. This is the dotted border. Let me go for something like dashed border, double border. You can find 2 lines. I think I need to increase the pixels. Then you can find. See, this is the double border. You need to if you want to see the double border, you have to go for more thickness. Okay, and if you want to go for groove or hidden, do we have any Reddit ridge? Ridge is something like it's showing some kind of pyramid structure outward, right? Okay, likewise groove, this is inverse of that, inverse of the ridge, and you have something ridge outset, inset, something like that. It's a plane surface, but outset means it's showing the box coming out of the. It's just like it's coming out, right? It will 3D. It's trying to show you as a 3D object. Now you can find two perspectives. One is coming outward, second one is inward. If you look in this particular direction, it will be inward. If you look in this direction, it's some kind of outward, right? This is outset, and you have something called inset is also there. This is inset. This is showing the border, and the entire box will look uh, as a inward, right? something like that. These are different kinds of varieties that you can find for the border styles. Instead of writing all these things as a separate way or separate properties, you can directly place all these three as a longhand notation. I'm sorry, shorthand notation like border. Just use this one pixel, solid. Okay, has 000. This is color, border color. This is border style. This is border width. All these three things are placed in one line that is called long shorthand notation of the border. Same thing. Unfortunately, it's not applied. Let me check the reason. Border 1 pixel solid has 0 0. That is nice. What was wrong here? Okay, it's a 1 pixel, right? I'm sorry. It's 10 pixels. I want to change the color to be some other color. Any random color is just given. Now I got a blue color now. Okay, so always we use a shorthand notation. Why? Because it will reduce the number of characters. If the number of characters reduce, the file size reduce. If the file size reduce, the page performance will improve, right? So it no more downloading time. Okay, so that is a border property. And in CSS we have in CSS3 we have one more property called border radius. Okay, now you can go for this border radius. You have this is newly added in CSS3. CSS3. Now you can go for that border radius. By using this, you can play a lot. Now you can see. um, if you give border radius of 50 pixels, now let's see what happens. It's become a circle almost, right? So let me go for 1 pixel and let me do. That means you can change a rectangle box as a circular box. Now just go for this. Here you have a border radius. Use your arrow keys and I'm going to increase. Now you can see rounded rectangle, and if I increase like this, a rectangle is going to be converted into circle almost for 60 pixels, right? But if you look at the content, it will be what we can call a rectangle shape. Only you just change the border, okay, as a circle. Always remember, the shape of the box is rectangle only, but you change the border as a circular. Got it? So by using this, you can do a lot of things using border radius. I'll explain those things later on. So using border, you can play a lot. Okay, using border radius, I can do a lot of things, and with the border also. So what I can do here is, mm, I want to create a simple play button. Okay, I just want to take a class called play button. Okay, or arrow. I can go for arrow. So what I'm going to do, dot arrow. Okay, for this arrow, let me define the width and the height for this. Width to be 0 pixels. I don't want any width and height. Okay, height. What I'm going to do, I just want to define a border of 100 pixels. Solid has 00 black in color or blue in color, 42, 30, 84. I can take this one, refresh the page. This is a border, not a box. Okay, why? Because the div has 0 pixels width and 0 pixel height. But here you're applying the border in all direction of what you call 100 pixels. Now let me show in a different way. Border left, you can apply like this. Border right. Let me go for different colors for this. Red, green, blue, maroon. Maroon. So All sides are 100 pixels. Okay, and unfortunately I don't got that. What was wrong? Oh, all are left side only. So border left, border right, border top, border bottom. I can see. Okay, only border is covering the entire box. The box size is this one, this particular dot, 0 pixels. Okay, we have from here to here, you have 100 pixels, that is a border. From here to here, you have 100 pixels, that is border. You're here to here, this is another 100 pixels. Now, if you want to create an arrow, now observe this one. This is an arrow, right? You need to eliminate these things. So how do I do that? It's a simple manner. What I can do, I can make this to be transparent. Transparent. This is to be transparent. This is to be transparent. Now let us refresh the page. Now I got a box, an arrow, right? That is fine. That's good. You can create a lot of things by using this. Now let me change this to be around 30 pixels. Let us see. You can find. Just created an arrow. If you want to create an arrow on your web page, you can do like this. If you want to make this as a button, you can do by using JavaScript, all those things. Got it? Let me show where I can use this one. All right. So that is about the border radius. Okay. Border radius is mostly used in while creating buttons. Okay. Why? Because when we are going to link one page with another page using anchor tags. But unfortunately, anchor tags are represented with button styles, right? If you go for something like BBC News, okay. No, just go for bbc.com. So generally, if you want to navigate from one page to another page inside HTML, we use anchor tags, right? Okay. So instead of representing a simple anchor link, if we make anchor link as a button, it will be more attractive to the user. So that is why we use anchor tags as buttons in order to convert from one page to in order to navigate from one page to another page. Okay. So we always do find buttons in order to navigate from one page to another one. So while creating those buttons, all these are buttons. Most of the buttons will be created using anchor tags only. Okay, uploadcare.com. I do have a website called. This is not mine. This is one. Now you can see this is a button. This is another button. This is another button. How do I get this kind of shape? Just take a rectangle box, apply some width and height, and change the border to be border radius at the corners to be like this. Okay, that's it. Okay, got it. Likewise, you can use border radius to create buttons and other kinds of shapes. The next property category of properties I'm going to refer here is uh, background properties of a box. But it's very slow. Box background. Why I'm saying box means every HTML element is referred as a box. So that is why all properties that you are going to study with respect to the box. Okay, so box model in the sense you need to talk about the width, height, margin, padding, border, etc. We have seen border properties of the box, border as well as border radius, and we have border background. How we are going to set the background? Okay, so box background dot HTML. Box background dot CSS. Type HTML box background CSS box CSS. What we can do is, all right. So just go for this. What are the different kinds of background properties that I can apply for a box? See, I'm going to create one more box, div.box. Okay. And by the way, why I'm taking a div always, in the sense it's an easy way of explaining the things. You can consider any kind of element as a box. Okay. So what are the styles I'm going to apply? You can apply to any element. It might be H2, it might be paragraph, it might be an inline element like image, everything. Okay. So for the simplicity, I just going for a div element. So what kind of background properties I can apply? So I can apply background color, background color. Okay, you can apply background color in this way, and I can apply background color. What we have, background image. I can go for this. We have something background repeat, background position, background size. Okay, background. What do we have? Image position repeat, background attachment, background origin, something like that. Okay, just go for this. So let me go for a simple box model properties. I can go for box. What are the box model properties? I can go for width of, I'm going to take this to be a 300 pixels. Okay, and this to be height to be 200 pixels. Okay, border to be, I'm going to apply some border which will be 1 pixel, solid hash 00. And I want to apply background color for this box to be red. So let's see how it's going to look. I got my red background border, background color. That is background color. You can apply background color in different varieties of ways. I can go for RGB always. So some, I'm sorry, maximum value is 230, 255, 123, and transparency of 0.5. But if you want more transparency, the color transparency, this is more transparent. Okay, for the time being, I just go for thick color. That is fine. That is background color. If you want to add an image for this, you can go for background image. You can go for URL. You can place any image inside of it. I do have any images. If you want to place images, you just go for the images here, not documents, pictures. I just go for Koala 2, Koala. Let's see. And always remember, while in any programming language, if you use forward slash, I mean, sorry, backward slash, that will be treated as a escape character. So you need to change that to be forward slash here. Okay, that's good. Slash dot to dot jpg, save it, and come here, refresh the page. You got image, right? But image size is bigger than my box. How do I adjust that one? Okay, so what I'm going to do here, first of all, let me increase the size of the box. Okay, generally I don't want to do that. For the time being, I just go for 800 by 600 pixels. Oh, I got images going to be repeated in x and y direction, so I want background repeat. Just go for that. Background no repeat. You can use no repeat, so that Image is not going to be repeated in X and Y direction. If you want to repeat in X direction, you can use repeat X or repeat Y. I'll just go for the repeat X. See, it's repeating. Okay, and if we want to position the image to the center, top right corner, first of all, I'll just go for no repeat. No repeat. I want to position that background position. Background position. You can use bottom, some kind of enumerated values. See, image got placed at bottom of the box. Okay, you have center, left, right, top, etc., etc. You can go for enumerated keys like enumerated values like this. If you want absolute position, you can give something like 100 pixels, 100 by 100 pixels from the box corner. Now you can see from here it will be 100 pixels. It will from here it will be 100 pixels. Exact position if you want. If you want something like 190 pixels, see, this is one kind of placing the things. And one important thing related to the background image is you can place multiple images. You can place multiple images like this. So I can go for this. Now let us see what happens. Oops, I mean, it's not getting background image and it to be no repeat and it's to be different values. And by the way, you need to separate the separate images with image properties with the comma. Okay, it's 0 pixel comma 0 pixel. Now let's try. Yeah, like that. Multiple images you can place inside a box, that is allowed. Instead of placing multiple images, if you want to place any kind of gradients, okay, you can have gradient is nothing but transforming the color from transformation of color from one sorry transformation of one color to another color. Okay, gradient, ENT. Gradient you can use. You have something called linear gradient. Linear gradient. I have a red color. First of all, from red color to black, I can change. Now let's see how it's going to look. It's not applied. I'm sorry. Still, it's not applied. What was the reason? Background color. Linear gradient. Okay, this is good. Now you can see. Let me remove the position for the time being. I don't know the position now. In the box, the color is changing from red color to black. This is what is called gradient. Generally, gradients are applied are used when we don't have images. See, an image when you are going to download an image from the server for a particular box, okay, it will be more size. Generally, images is a graphic which will be in terms of pixel sizes, right? 300 pixels into 500 pixels, something like that. So it will be around 22 MB, 140 MB. If it is a more HD image, it will be more. It will occupy more memory, so that downloading time will be very high when we have such kind of big images in our web applications. So generally, we are trying to avoid images in our applications by placing some kind of neat gradients as a background. So generally gradients we will find inside headers or body background, something like that. Where do I can find the gradient is, of course, the gradient generation has been changed now. Okay, so instead of images you can place gradients in order to make it will uh, make the thing to be look much better. Okay, um, Yeah, and by the way, here the color is changing from top to bottom. If you want left to right, you can use to right. I just think, what was the problem here? To right, right? To right. Let me check this one. What? To right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This to be at first. This will work. Yeah. Now you can see it starts from left and it will end with right, the gradient. Okay. Likewise. We can change the color from in all directions in a subtle fashion. So here you have red color and your radially your the color is changing, and finally you are getting a black color at the corners like this. That is called a radial gradient. Okay, and by the way, background image. So that's about the background image property. Okay, and let me go for the URL itself. I just want to take URL. That's fine. Okay, so I just have taken the image. Now, what I want to do, generally, you can, I want to go for the background position to be, I don't want to apply the background position right now. So it will be by default at 0.00 pixels. And yeah, what I want to do, let me go for this with the 200 pixels and put this 200, 300 pixels. Now, I'm not able to see the entire picture on the background, right? So what I'm going to do, I can size that picture background size we have. You can give absolute values like 100 pixels by like you can give something like 300 pixels, 200 pixels, so that you can exactly fit the image inside that particular box. This is called sizing. Okay, so it is very difficult sometimes to place exact picture with absolute mm, pixel wise. Why? Because inside the box you can have border, padding, and all these things, right? So sometimes it's not a good idea to place pixels like this. Some people use something like a cover and enumerated. If you find a keywords like this, those are called enumerated values of the properties. Okay, cover, contain, okay, left, right, something like that. Now this is covered. Now what the cover will do? Uh, have you heard about aspect ratio of a screen? Aspect. Uh, I just want to go for aspect ratio. Ratio. Go for the images. No, aspect ratio is nothing but it's the ratio of width to the height of the image or screen. I just go for this one. Now you can see it's the aspect ratio for here is 21 is to 9. That means height and width. Width is very high and height is very low. Okay, the video or image generation will be different. Okay, here you have something called an aspect ratio 21 is to 9. Okay, but you can see the screen and video or image is same now here. That is why it's exactly fit into this particular screen size. But here we have a video of 21 is to 9 pixels of aspect ratio, and TV screen has a ratio called 16 by 19. So because of that, it is unable to fit this kind of video, this kind on this particular what do you call screen. So it has to adjust automatically. So it will leave some space on top and bottom. Likewise, for 4 is to 3 screens, you have 21 is to 9 is not going to be fit properly. Likewise, for remaining cases as well, you just go for this one. Okay, so when we give background size cover, what you get? Okay, so image is following. You just given a background size of the image that to be covered. Cover in the sense it will go for the full aspect ratio. That means what is the aspect ratio of the image? The original height and width of the image. Generally, it will be. Let me check for this one. This one, right? It will maintain the original height and width of the image. Mostly, I can go for no. This is not good in terms of pixels. This will be, I can see 400 by 300 pixels, right? So, uh, cover is going to maintain some kind of aspect ratio. So generally, it will follow. It starts it start adjusting the aspect ratio. It start adjusting the width. That means the full width. That means the 400 pixels is going to be fit into this 300 pixels. But unfortunately, the size of this particular box is the height is 200 pixels. If this is 300, definitely to be 250 something like that. So might be because of that. Okay, I think this is a full picture or not. Let me go for some other kind of 400 by 200. Now you can see you will find the 400 pixels fitted exactly to the 400 pixels of the box. But coming here, the height for 400, the box height to be 300. But unfortunately, the box height is 200. Because of that, it's not exactly placing the image. So what we do, we are trying to adjust this to 300. Let's see. You'll get complete image now. What happens if I go for 500 pixels of height? The image is adjusting the aspect ratio with respect to the height. Now you can find full height, but unfortunately you don't find full width. Okay, so in order to see full width, what is the aspect ratio? I can go for 700 by 500. Almost. Of course, some pixels you may lost. This is the way you need to organize. That is called cover. There is another one called contain. Contain will show the entire picture, but it may not be fitted to your exact window. So it will what the content will do, it's try to show all the picture by maintaining the aspect ratio in. Okay, now you can see this is the exact aspect ratio. This will be around 600 pixels, this will be around 400 pixels. Okay, it will try to show like that. But the screen width is the video screen is 700 pixels, right? So it may not be fitted. So content will be like that. According to the content, you need to adjust. Um, that means you are adjusting the screen width or the box width with respect to the image. Now you need to change that one to be 600. Let me try like that. That is fine. If I adjust like this, you are getting some gap at the bottom. Again, you need to go for here. No, it will be okay. Oh, it's not okay now. Might be it will be 450. Now it's exactly fitted. So 600 by 450 is the exact one. Okay. Likewise, we can prepare background color, background image, background repeat, background position, background size, and background attachment. Background attachment is some kind of thing where if you want to background attachment, okay, you have something like where to find. If you place fixed, the background will be fixed. Okay, so let's go for this box. I want to place a paragraph, a lorem, and I want to change the paragraph font to be font size to be 100 pixels. It's a very big in size. In order to make my website as a scrollable, I just given each character as 100 pixels. Now when I say, now you can see the background is fixed. See, the background picture is fixed for this box. When I scroll it, you're not able to see that. Okay, so when I say a scroll, scroll, the background image will scroll with respect to the page. You can see that. Okay, something like that. So generally, you can find such kind of working.com app const. Now you can see this is scrollable. Sometimes you can find some pop-ups. Okay, that may not be scroll along with this. What do you call? Here also no pop-ups. If you find pop-ups, then that will be what do you call? That will be movable. Okay, here it's not. Background position is not fixed here. Hello.